Why do you get affected by other people's negativity? Let this hit hard. It affects you because energetically you are no different than them. And I'm not talking about right versus wrong. Everybody thinks they're right. Am I right? What I'm talking about is you are an energetic match to them. You're either on the same frequency or within the same lower frequency range as them. If they are negative, then the only way you're able to receive that negativity is when you're tuning into the low frequency of that negativity. And I always talk about energies and vibrations because the entire universe is nothing but energies and vibrations. Whether it's a water molecule or the molecule on this piece of cloth or that tree back there, everything is energy and everything vibrates. So you both may be very different in terms of your upbringing, your values, your social status, your financial status. But when you are bothered by them, you're sinking to the same low vibration as them. You may be a very positive person otherwise, but in that moment, you're dipping into the same low frequency. Anger, resentment, hatred, bitterness, and even victim mentality, all of those are low frequencies. Let's talk frequencies. When you're listening to a radio station, you tune into a particular station and then you hear what's being transmitted on that channel, right? But when you're traveling long distance from one area to another, then you'll notice that at some point you start hearing two stations at the same time. They start interfering. That's because you're moving from one zone to another zone, and the two radio stations in those two zones have the same frequency, which is why you start hearing a little bit of both, and there's a lot of interference and a lot of disturbance. But this will happen only if they are tuned to the same frequency. This won't happen if one is, say, 99.7 and one is 101.3 in the other zone. It won't happen. But if both the zone use the same frequency, like 99.7 here and 99.7 there, that is when you'll hear that disturbance. It's the same with human frequencies. Only when the frequencies of both people are matching, or at least are very, very close, that is when you get affected. If the frequencies are very different, then you won't even get bothered. Think about a situation when you're sharing this negative experience with someone and you go on and on and on passionately, and this person looks at you in total disbelief and asks, "Why are you even bothered by this? Why are you engaging with these people?" What is stripping you of your peace doesn't affect this person. Why? Because they cannot tune into the negativity of the situation. In that situation, instead of thinking that this person just doesn't get you, I think it would be a good idea to ask them what they are thinking about in that situation, so you can tune into that frequency instead and feel better. Another example. You often see on social media these debates happening where people from both the sides go on and on and on attacking each other. And you know that in the end, nobody is going to change their viewpoint, but that bitterness is going to get carried into your day. And there are these people who read all the comments and move on because it's just not worth their time. When you're in an argument, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. This interference of frequencies happen when both of you are vibrating at that same low vibration of anger and bitterness, where you're driven by the feeling that your worth is decided by who has the last word in that argument. And sometimes you may not even say anything, but still get bothered by it. As long as you get bothered by it, it means that there's a part of you that is just as messed up as they are. Otherwise, you wouldn't even care. The Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi talks about this bird called Peng that takes a magnificent flight from the northern seas all the way to southern seas. And these birds, these pigeons on the street look at it and laugh and mock and say that, why would anyone fly 90,000 miles to wherever? But that ground level chatter does not affect the Peng bird, because it's flying way high up above the clouds and it's enjoying these expansive, gorgeous views and the colors of the sky, and it's focusing on its destination, flying towards the horizon. If you find yourself being bothered by the negativity, it could only be because you're too close to their level. You need to fly higher. It's time to look at the 4 fingers pointing back at you when you point 1 finger to somebody else. You have to ask yourself why and what within me is falling to such low levels that I'm being affected by this person. It's not about proving yourself right. It's a futile effort anyways. It's the time for self-exploration and readjustment. It's not about how bad they are. It's about exploring, why am I even allowing myself to get affected by this person? Fly way high above these people from where you won't even notice them. Focus on bigger things in life. Engage in high frequency activities and hang out with high frequency people. And when you reach a point from where you don't even get affected by this kind of negativity, that's when you'll know that you've reached those greater heights. And from this height, you will be able to ignore them, or you may even be able to have a compassionate view towards these people, that whatever it is that's messed you up so much to be this negative, I wish for you that you heal from it. But as for me, I have some other things to think about right now. Getting sucked into the negativity, just not worth it, my friend. Why lower yourself to their levels? Keep your focus on the positive. Move on to the grand things in life. Move on to the peace.